Embark on your journey, the path you must take. Though hate may surround you, it's not your fate to forsake. Co-creating your destiny in the dance of time. The guiding light within you ignites the sublime. It is the light, the guiding light from the heart and soul. Don't lose control. Let it be the light shining bright, unlocking potential beyond belief, taking flight. In the depths of your being, the truth resides. Embrace your power, let your spirit rise. With every step forward, you transcend the expanded conscious community we commend. Through trials and triumphs, your soul evolves in the symphony of life, where every note resolves. Listen to the whispers of your inner voice. In unity and love, let your heart rejoice. It is the light, the guiding light from the heart and soul. Don't lose control. Let it be the light shining bright, unlocking potential beyond belief, taking flight. It is the light, the guiding light from the heart and soul. Don't lose control. Let it be the light shining bright, unlocking potential beyond belief, taking flight. As we gather together in this sacred space, embracing transformation with grace. Life Coach Malachi leads the potential day by day. One big space. Embracing transformation with grace. Life coach Malachi leads the way. Unlocking potential day by day.
Yes. Are you guys ready? I am here and we are ready. Welcome to Expanded Consciousness. And we can stop that from repeating. Of course, I love this song. But today, we're going to start part 2 with the Dark Enlightenment so that you really get this. But we're going to allude more and talk more about conscious evolution right after this. Yes. All right. Show is on the road. I hope you guys are having a wonderful evening. I'm not going to waste any time. We're going to get straight into this. Thank you for showing up, everyone that's in the room, in the building, in the internet building. This is what we call is, what do you call that? It's almost like a matrix, you know? It is. It's almost like a matrix, you know? It's a multiverse, right? When you think multiverse, you for some reason we think cosmic, we think really bigger than what, we can get deep into our thoughts when we think multiverse, but literally you are tuning in to me right now live on this channel, our channel versus my channel, Expanded Conscious Community. And within this expanded conscious community, I'd like to call this beyond belief, going beyond belief. And so welcome to everyone. I real quick go through the room, see we got Miss Deidre, of course. Thank you, Miss Deidre, for all that you do. We know that you are here. Miss Marie, Miss Gwen, Brother Carl Collins. Hey, Brother Carl, I have something for you. This Saturday, we're going to be meeting. I want you to have the opportunity to come into our space this weekend exclusively for you. That's part of our paid community and the efforts and things that we do in there. And I believe people are really able to benefit within that space. Miss Jolene, good to see you. 100% Gaia the Sage, right? Thank you so much. And of course, Big Dog Celeste. Celeste is in the building. And right there, we got Miss Deidre. Thank you, Miss Deidre, with that wonderful picture. For us to remember to like and share. This is going to be good. All right, Mrs. Mother White is in the building. Everybody say, what's up, Mother White? I would like to, we're going to get this show on the road. So we can follow up where we left off, right? Because one of the reasons why I want to do this is because of the fact that we're living it. we're living in the middle of it, in the middle of a lot of chaos, a lot of um, I would say um, insecure. Just we don't know, very vulnerable. We don't know what's next, what's happening, what's going on. We do know one of the things about living in this world today is that we get to witness all of the all of the what would I say, real things that seemingly are affecting people. You know, you would hear stories about the past, you know. You hear stories about the past. Hold on real sec. I need my door closed without getting up. Um, but we would you hear all the history and the stories about the past, you know, Dr. Martin Luther King, and you know, about slavery, you know, we hear about um, Native Americans, we hear about the King James Bible and how it was written in the Council of Nicaea. And, you know, a lot of people, and if we go deep into that, people don't know that story. And that's just me just randomly talking about things that are a part of my life. There's all sorts of different things from health and wealth and uh, how we got to where we are. And now is a time that we are questioning more than ever about what is true, what is not true, what are we truly capable of? Is this life really real? We know there are some things real, but also we are in this space of awareness and connection. We're talking more about consciousness as a whole. We'll talk a little bit about what consciousness is not. Um, Consciousness is like the word love. And um, I will tell you to grab a pen and paper if it's by you. I have some Pinot Grigio. It's a light colored. The Chardonnay is going to be really more of a yellow. Pinot Grigio is kind of a springtime, very light, very good, a little bit on the sweet end to have with some Alfredo. That's what I cooked tonight. We'll get one day. Maybe in the community I'll share about my wine stories. But we're here intimately connected to each other, here to expand and to be aware and to connect, right, from a heart level. But the heart, the brain, right, it's all interconnected. We are all interconnected more than we know. But one of the things I want you to get out of this evening more than anything, Dr. King used to talk about hope. Dr. King would talk about being able to be amongst all people and we not deal with the issues of color. And when we say color, we not necessarily just talk about the melanin of our skin. That's more of the obvious identifier. But we're really talking about the differences, the diversity. There is a strategic reason why the differences and the diversity of who we all are and who we are as a people. When we think about spirituality, a lot of times it leads towards religion. And the reason why a lot of us have come together is because that's amongst this community is because one guy that we all may be or may not be familiar with, and that's Bishop Carlton Pearson. And Bishop Carlton Pearson, in his latter days, I can't believe it that I'm saying the late Bishop Carlton Pearson. But in his latter days, he talked a lot, not just about the religious text, but and the reason why he believed what he believed. But Bishop Carlton Pearson also talked about justice, injustice, equity, inclusion. We say things that Jesus seemingly would be referring to, correct? Right? I mean, if we really look at the heart and look at the messages, multiple messages, even outside the 1611 King James Version, we would understand and hear and know that this character, this person, this thing that we all identify with, that we have been pushed at least to identify with over the last 2,500 years, is this mythological character. Yes, I say mythological because we don't know, we can't really articulate who Jesus was. We can only articulate what we have referenced. We can only articulate what we can take from archaeological, anthropology, historical. We have very little biology. We don't really have much, but what we do have is a really, 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 really thick history of power, control, dogma, and outright hate, all mixed up in a bowl. It's all mixed up into a bowl of gobbledygook. And we have to sift out and to understand and to try to feel connected to something divine. Something divine. We see divinity when we have babies. I think we can see divinity when we get a new puppy, especially if it's small and cute. You know, one of our members has an 8-inch dog named Teddy Pendergrass. Who would have thunk it? How cute. Deidre. History. History, science, philosophy, anthropology, biology, neurology. Like, we could go on and on and on and on and on. We can go on and on, guys. How did we end up here? Where are we? What is next? When I talk about the dark enlightenment, these are real, by the way, so I can't see you. When I talk about the dark enlightenment, I'm open. This is me just being in this. I'm not dealing with. I still have some notes, but I want you guys to really understand this. I'm serious, and let this be one of the most profound things that you can vibrate into the frequency of. Not because of me, it's because of our hearts and our alignment and what we should be doing and what we truly desire. I wrote a song today about love. I'll probably play some of it. I wrote a song that will be released on the album. I might give a little bit of a sample, Deidre. It's not going to go into Patreon. I like to release some of them. We're going to have fun with this, but the things that I really want to cover with you, and whenever I talk about this dark enlightenment, is I'm a guy that has spent my lifetime in technology. Since I was a kid, I was taking apart TVs dangerously. I remember playing with mercury. I played with mercury out of a thermostat. Very peculiar element of the earth. Ecology. How does all living things work in this place? Thank God for science. One thing I really want you to know, and I want you guys to get, is that we are here now, and we have the ability to understand, to learn, to know, to connect, to raise our vibration, to come into a higher space of connectedness and knowingness. We are at an age and time that when you see someone in a church, and we are expanded here, right? But we see people in the church and somebody's praying, and then there's someone that's posing as quote demonic or demons or something like that is in them, and they begin to shake and spit. And I'm not here to discredit whatever someone's experiencing, but I would love to see that same power and energy that you have, that you're supposedly doing with these individuals. And I want to see you take down Elon Musk. Not in a bad way. I'm talking about in whatever kind of spirit, habada, hibada, hobada, shibada kind of way. Do your thing. I'm talking about when we think about the individuals that have, since we've been on this damn country, land, whatever the fuck it is. Don't get me going. Like, I'm sorry, because the thing is that we can be so spiritual about everything. We can be so woo-woo about everything. But people are hurting and dying. Things are happening that are for real, for real. And when you have pastors like Philip Mitchell, whatever this thing's name is, I'm just Philip Anthony Mitchell, right? It's going viral. Y'all heard it, y'all seen it, and he's talking about black men and black people need to to teach them how to obey authority, teach them how to whatever. And he goes on and on and on. And whether he knows it or not, he's playing to the consciousness, to the alignment. He's playing to the system that has gotten us here. That's how we got here. Is because people, especially people that are from the very race in which we come from. I have something real quick. I'm gonna go to it real quick. I'm gonna just, hey, we friends, we kicking it tonight. It's not loaded with people. I don't expect to get, millions of people to look at this. Right. So we get to like chop it up. Y'all down to chop it up for a minute? And I appreciate y'all for being a part of this, but I promise you're going to get some real, right? That's the goal. You're going to get some real. But, I have this and I haven't done the real, but I'm going to read you, if I can find my notes here, I'm going to read you some of the things that came to me as I was writing because of what this individual has said. And this is just us powwowing. Y'all might see this come out in a reel, but I want you to hear this. I don't know. Do I need to show the clip? If I need to show the clip, I can show the clip. And there's a clip out there. My equipment is being silly. Uh-oh. That's a problem, Houston. That is Houston. We have a problem. I got to get my image back. There we go. Just give it a minute. We're going to come back. It's going to pop up in a minute. Yes. Trigger warning. You said it, Deidre. The image will come back. Just give it a second. Oh, wait, we don't want that camera. That camera is dirty. Give me the right one, girl. Give me the right one. There we go. It's the difference when you have I don't know, that thing. I didn't buy it new, but it was probably $8,000. I do know it's got about a $2,500 lens on it. That's the reason why it looks so good. Yeah, I knocked the cable loose. Philip Mitchell. We're going to go there just real quick. And we're going to go there real quick, right? Because I want you to understand, because the thing is here we are dealing with the country in our democracy and our Constitution. All those cool things. We're dealing with it. I'm here to tell you, Trump is right about some things. One thing he's right about is that he has the ability to come in there and manipulate the whole system, and just us, everybody sitting around looking like Boo Boo the Fool. Everybody sitting looking like Boo Boo the Fool, where he's just wreaking havoc all on us. You know what I'm saying? So there is a problem, right? And he is right about some things. And one thing he's right about is the fact that he can go through there and just manipulate our whole government. This has gone viral. Rising black pastor in Atlanta gets backlash for urging congregation to stop blaming white cops for killing the black kids. And the thing is this guy is pretty urban. You know what I mean? He's kind of
Stop blaming.
He's like a New York kind of dude, but he's living in Atlanta. And so this is honestly, it's just gonna blow up his profile a little bit more because So let's listen to this.
White cops for the killing of black kids. Instead, teach your black children to be obedient towards authority. And I don't care if most of y'all are black. You need to teach your children to obey authority. We need to teach our sons and daughters to obey authority. We need to teach our children to not fight against authority, not fight against cops, not rebel. Be model citizens. Stop being rebellious towards authority. Be submitted to laws and ordinances. Stop parking in handicapped spaces unless you want a reason to park there.
I mean, I get that and I agree with that. And I know there's people that do stuff like that. But white people do it too. I don't do it. But all kinds of people do it too. But I don't know how this relates to whatever he's talking about.
Pay your taxes and stop cheating on your documents.
Now, how many black folks are cheating?
I'm gonna go deep. I'm about to get everybody mad. Stop bending your numbers. Watch. The Lord said, give back to Caesar what belongs to him. That is, be submitted to governmental authority.
I'm gonna get everybody mad.
See, now watch. I see all of y'all looking at me. You know why you're looking at me like that? Because you don't read.
No.
After Jesus is resurrected, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. When I was 15 years old, I'm walking up Hollis. I'm walking down Hollis in Queens. And an Italian cop drove right by me. And I locked eyes with the cop, and we stared at each other. He drove by. My ego and his ego. No cameras. No iPhones, no social media, no recordings. And then he says one word to me. Listen to what he says to me. This is what he says to me. He says to me, watch, say something. And in that moment, I hear the voice of my mom and my father. Son, obey authority. Son, respect your elders. Son, don't be in trouble out there with the police. Son, make sure you listen to people when they talk and I can hear them blah, 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 blah. No. And in that moment, with that Glock pressed to my head, I got to make a decision. Either my ego is going to be strong, or my submission to authority is going to be stronger than my ego. It has nothing to
do with submission to authority. Nigga, you got a gun to your head.
And if I have not been taught to obey authority.
It has nothing to do with that. He was completely wrong.
And because I'm not saved, I'm separated from God now for all eternity.
No.
By a cop's bullet. Why? Because my ego was stronger than my submission.
No, he was wrong.
I don't care.
He was wrong. Okay. Here's what I'm going to tell y'all. I got a lot to this because I'm going to get a little bit into this. Hopefully, I'm going to wrap all this up in at least an hour and a half. But I'm going to tell you this. His lived experience of what he experienced, why that cop did what he did, right, was his experience. The cop couldn't have been completely dirty. The cop didn't have, it wasn't the authority that got you. It was the Glock. It was your life flashing before you. Because he could have just offed you. But then you go into the mixture of all this other bullshit. Let's just be clear. My response is that discipline, integrity, and respect for one another, it really does matter. But when someone stands in a pulpit cloaked in divine authority and delivers a message that sounds like a mouthpiece for the state, than a shepherd for the soul, we have a problem. See, the science of trauma, especially intergenerational trauma, tells us that when people live under constant stress, surveillance, and systemic pressure, systemic pressure, the nervous system begins to adapt. When people experience things over and over and over, such as a person putting a gun to their head when they really had no right, can lead to what we call as chronic hypervigilance. And what happens in the brain is it begins to wire itself into a survival mode. See, our community did not decide one day just to mistrust authority. Our biology began to evolve under the pressure to protect us. And when we talk about things like anthropology, every empire from Rome to the American plantation economy has used religion to maintain its power. There always has been a spokesperson needed from within the oppressed group, someone who can echo the master's message with the master's cadence. It's not new. In fact, it's a strategy. So when the black preacher decides to tell young black people to just obey the law, obey the law, obey the law, submit yourself to authority, nigga. Without naming the disproportionate enforcement that has always targeted policing or the structural setups that criminalizes the black existence. He's not preaching salvation. He's preaching submission. So let's be honest. You don't have to park in a handicapped spot to get profiled. You don't have to be breaking the law to be pulled over, searched, harassed, or killed. There are brothers and sisters who were just walking home or sitting in cars or cashing a check or sleep, and they bust in. Those individuals were not lawless, but it was tied to their blackness. And the fallacy of this kind of sermon assumes we are inherently defiant, when in truth we are inherently resilient. It tells us to be quiet, behave, comply, without acknowledging that the state, yes, the same government that the preacher says we owe our taxes to, has looted our communities, hijacked our education, and weaponized our image. Let's not mistake spiritual language for spiritual liberation. Just because it comes with a scripture doesn't mean it's sacred. These Christian nationalists and the far right understand marketing, and they know the best spokesperson, who is one who looks like you, talks like you, and sells you back into the very system we've been trying to heal from. We are not against order, nor should we begin to think that we are against order, although we may fall into the trap and fall into the trenches and have to deal with the consequences of disobeying the law. But we must be against obedience without accountability. We're not against leadership. We're against leaders who are funded to keep us docile. Yes, don't break the law. But let's ask, what happens when the law breaks us? When I get into this mode and I write, it gets emotional. Because all my art and my science and all of who I am begins to compile. And when we get played by individuals that lead as influencers, we can really take us back. And the whole point of my talk, the whole point of what we're experiencing right now, has to do with our ability to acknowledge, to foresee, to know, to understand, to interpret, to be able to connect. We get played for our ignorance, which turns into arrogance, defiance, because of the fact that we know something's not right. We know something's not true. We know that something seemingly wants to manipulate us. We have been played, replayed, played all over again. And we have been led down this dark and evil path based on knowledge, knowing, not understanding, not connecting, not comprehending, and the system of people that are advanced in understanding who we are, how to manipulate, how to get people to do what you want them to do. And one of the 8 belief systems that I have formulated is religion as one of the number one. When you can have people worrying about life and death beyond life, it's like worrying about something that you don't understand or know, but you worried about the whole time of the fact that you are living. It's like a cake is in the oven and you're never going to taste it. But you sit back and wonder about if it's good or bad, if it's not. And everybody sits around and just talks about this damn cake. And ain't nobody really tastes the cake. Some people dip into it and kind of shake it. Like they die. I'm calling that like a near death. We have people that experience near death. But it's people like this that keeps us in a medieval state of mind. And it's the true elite. It's the brilliant. It's the Silicon Valley that is driving this thing more than you know. They've been driving it. But the intersect between Trump, Curtis Yarvin, Curtis Yarvin. Write it down. Trump, Curtis Yarvin, Project 2025, Silicon Valley. If you don't know what Silicon Valley is, you got to think. It is in the Bay Area. It's California, right? It is Silicon Valley is basically the hub of technology, not just basic technology. I'm talking about governing technology, how we work, how we function, how things are functioning. It has the ability to change the way we live. It has changed the way we live. It has the ability to do more than you can imagine, and it is doing more than you can imagine. And we are playing to it, a part of it, and you better wake up. You better wake up. It's beyond woke. Woke is kind of this idea that this is happening. Woke is kind of like to be aware. We beyond being aware. We're in the thick of it. We're in the thick of it. The illusions of life is before you. The multiverse is before you. Bouncing in and out of this space of what is and what isn't is before you. We're hung on the, literally on the edge of complete disruption. They're trying to keep it balanced as much as possible. But you're going to learn the reason why it's going to be tough and what to do. It's Americans' democracy that the regression, it's manifested through the movement such as Dark Enlightenment. So I want you to think, and I want you to get out of your head, Dark Enlightenment. You can look it up. We're going to go and look at a few things about this. But I want you to get out your head is I want you to get the ghosts, goblins, witches, wizards. King James started all that. Yeah, your guy that had the King James Bible commissioned by the Council of Nicaea, pretty much. I'm not a theologian. Don't claim to be. Don't want to be. I think it's only necessary just so that people can actually help people get through. It's kind of a philosophy of God that doesn't have, it has no feet. It's very mystical. I'm 100% a mystic, but I do like to have foundation. Foundations is something that I can make tangible in my life when I need it. So when I talk Dark Enlightenment, please understand that this is the ideology of people like Curtis Yarvin. Basically, it's the policies that outline initiatives in Project 2025. A lot of these are just designed to disrupt traditional government. And what they want to do is they want to apply structures that Silicon Valley has governance. So I know this is deep, but I'm going to try to help you. The way you build an application, such as Facebook, is thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of lines of code. Okay? And within this code, it's going to just, there's a lot of math involved. There's some philosophy involved. But within this code, as it makes sense, it's going to output something to you. So the face and image of that you're seeing of me right now is the code at work. you are seeing me, and what we call is called, you're seeing me from the GUI, graphical user interface. This is also related to the work of Donald Hoffman, Dr. Donald Hoffman. He talks about what is reality, what is the true reality, and what is beyond that reality. Even in the reality of what you're able to see with me is only what we are able to render from what the digital systems have been able to decode. So I come, it goes into the computer, it codes into a language. There are many different languages in the computer space, but there are some main languages: Python, PHP, JavaScript, so on and so forth. These are languages of the internet. SQL, I can go on and on. But these languages will output a thing called a GUI, graphical user interface. You get to see me. Okay. Yes, it sounds deep. I know it sounds deep. But that's the same people who are able to write that to present to you, to pull up this reality that we call a reality digitally. And they're able to take that reality and then serve it up to you how you want. So it's easy to manipulate. Curtis Yarvin is a software engineer turned pseudo. We say pseudo. He is a philosopher, but he's crazy as fuck. Sorry, he's crazy because of the fact that he is the central to what we call as the neo-reactionary or dark enlightenment movement. Basically, his writings are challenging Enlightenment era ideas such as democracy, equality, and humanity. Right? Democracy, equality, and humanity. We got some more people we'll talk about in that also are software guys that come from South Africa, and they're brilliant people, but they understand a lot and they understand what they want, and ego is running them. The same ego that he's talking about with the gun to your head, and he's saying obey authority. Like, what happens when authority gets taken over by evil? But you don't know it because you're following the same system that has been presented to you. And the only way you can know this is you have to break away from that system. And if you don't break away from that system, you'll fall to the system. It's okay. It's understandable. A lot of slaves died. Some of them fought. But the Dark Enlightenment is the juxtaposition to the Enlightenment era, which was democracy, equality, human rights. Do you guys remember that? Curtis Yarvin views democracy as inefficient, chaotic, ultimately unstable, and that it basically needs to be replaced by centralized authoritarian government. Basically taking some of Make America Great Again ideology and concepts, which is what were the power and the most powerful people of the era and time able to do once gunpowder was developed and used in order to be able to kill a lot of people. No different than Barbara Marx Hubbard asking the question with the atomic bomb is, what is this? Is this what science is? Is this what we have been given science to do? We can use science to communicate. We can use science to figure out food. We can use science to write music now. We can use science to live longer, better, figure out equality, or we can use science to kill each other. So Yarvin's philosophy resonates basically on Silicon Valley tech elites who believe that radical efficiency uh, a hierarchy, a disruptive system of traditional government, basically. And the way I have coined it, no one else will tell you this, but it is basically the Uber and the Airbnb of our government. They want to make it better. Can they make it better? Yeah, we can improve a lot, but we're not robots. We're humans. And humans don't like to be controlled by one person or one group of people. We've been there, we've done that, and that is not the way this humanity is designed. That is ego, that is evil, that is just literally the spirit and the essence of colonization that got us to the point where we had to break it. And dark enlightenment implies basically moving away from democratic pluralisms toward basically a technocratic, centralized government. And we want to be able to manage by a highly skilled elite, like a tech corporation. And the thing about power, guys, and the thing about technology and tech, the thing about money is it's beautiful what it does because we need it, because that's what is the current system of exchange. And within this system of exchange and the capitalistic structure, heart and love and fairness and all that doesn't that is something that could be a part of the system. And what we want to do is we want to believe that the Bible and religion is the thing, the governing force that says if we don't have this, we don't have ethics, we don't have morals. I have yet to see the 1-year-old natural killer. My daughter was telling me, and she has attended transformation a few times. And this is cool. We have great conversations. We had one last night. She was telling me about the sinful nature, and I was like, babe, we don't have sinful nature. She was like, but we do. I was like, when was the last baby that you've seen that just naturally was like a killer? Like, I could see it having animalistic behaviors for survival, but nature versus nurture. If you have all of your mind and everything's balanced, but you have love in your life and you've been presented with love, you will have frustrations, you will have anger, you will go through it as a kid. But there are people that have lived in this world that I've witnessed, such as my wife, who is a wonderful person, and she didn't receive spankings, and to this day, um, she doesn't seem like she need a spanking. No pun intended. No freakiness involved. Um, I have a lot of trauma from it, so I don't know if I even want to be in the freaky stuff of getting spankings myself as a sexual pleasure. I'm good with it. Um, but she didn't get spankings. She's an executive. She treats really people well. She does well, right? A little bit of life and history. But these very systems that we believe, that we have been told, have to be checked and questioned. If we look at Project 2025, though, a lot of how it's built, the structure and everything else is built strictly based on Curtis Yalvin's work. I've researched it. I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time going back through it. maybe if you guys want to, we'll do this in the Patreon, and I can show you specific, like, this is not conspiracy woo-woo. This is open, and you can see clearly how to remove traditional democratic checks and balances. That was already written like literally years ago. The restructuring of American governance and all that, that was already written many years ago. The way to do it. Efficiency is what's driven all of business. Since money is so big and business is so big, and we got the free market is so big, and we got the control of the government, that we think the government is business and the government is government. Is there transactions within it? Yes. But it's still not a for-profit business. Government is government. Business is transactions based on products and services. Yes, the government provides products and services based on the needs of the people, but it's hard to balance out the needs of the people when the needs of certain people are led by wetiko, greed, envy. It's all built in history. This all is it is what it is, folks, right? And we had to go somewhere with our lives. You get what I mean? Like, we had to go somewhere. This was going to change. We arrived to some of the highest evolutions of life after Jim Crow laws and Dr. Martin Luther King. Dr. Martin Luther King still yet would have been flabbergasted with Barack Obama, with seeing Black people in Congress, with seeing Black millionaires and billionaires. He would have been elated, flabbergasted. We have had a taste of what it's like. But of course, equality, justice for all, it's what we have had to fight in our country for many years. Religion and spirituality, we had to fight for many years. Those two things fight. Even though spirituality is a way of being, believing, knowing, connecting, and it's very mystical if you just allow it to be and not be finite with your ideas or your ideology, even within your woo-woo. Religion is filled with dogma and ways that it believes it's the only way, and you have to do it that way. And if you don't do it that way, it's riddled with the American government. Period. Riddled with the American government. What I'd like to introduce to you this moment is there's another person that is kind of connected to a lot of these ideologies and philosophies that's behind a lot of these movements. And I believe we posted this in the Patreon. And it's a guy by the name of Nick, N-I-C, Land, L-A-N-D. And guys, what this comes down to is it really just comes down to the elite. And when I say the elite, it's not just based on money. It's based on knowledge and understanding. It's based on, what does it take for the world to keep going? when you think about pilots and doctors and nurses and, the whole gamut of life, how has life moved up into this point? How have we lived up to this point? Right. And we're gonna listen to this a little bit. I just want you to listen to some of these philosophies and ideas. And the thing is I want you to know that this is a conspiracy is when some truth is revealed, but then it's laced with these questionable things that says, did this happen? Did that happen? Did this? Donald Trump has built his whole entire authority on making individual people question their reality. And who does that? What kind of person makes you question your reality? It's called gaslighting. And a person that displays or has narcissistic behaviors, and his is what we would call malignant narcissistic behaviors. When you are a malignant narcissist, it's a whole nother realm of mental illness. That is strictly, this is just not every day, but you can get away with a lot, especially when you have power, which gives you authority and money. Let's listen to this. This is Nick Land. This is Nick Land's ideology, right? And these people are
nowadays seem pretty much impossible to deal with. Whether at the individual or collective level, it's honestly hard to imagine a way out of inequality, pollution, human rights violations, and any other assortment of dread-inducing buzzwords. But maybe we just aren't being creative enough. In a 1967 sci-fi novel, Lord of Light, there's a group of revolutionaries, way off in the future, who want to take their society to the next level. They believe they can do so through swiftly altering the social attitudes people carry about technology. Instead of fear of the unknown, we should put our foot on the gas and see where it takes us. They called themselves accelerationists. Accelerationism is the real-world belief that technology and capitalism should be sped up. This is either because they genuinely think this is a good idea that will result in some sort of techno-capitalist utopia, or because there is simply no alternative. We can either prolong our suffering or go right through it. Hence they push for deregulation, the merging of the digital with the human, and the overall rejection of the belief that we can somehow control progress. Current accelerationist circles have even argued that the election of Trump, a hyper-capitalist, anti-establishment figure, is the first true manifestation of their movement in politics. Where did this begin exactly? Many point to the mysterious philosopher and writer Nick Land as the source of the movement. Land was a young professor at Warwick, already known for his eccentricity, love of Nietzsche, and his propensity for climbing over chairs. He would tell his lecture audiences that he worked in the field of the collapse of Western civilization studies, and he would also get extremely high in his office. Reading everything he could get his hands on, Land quickly consumed all of Deleuze and Guattari's work, including Anti-Oedipus, as well as the work of Lyotard. These thinkers emerged at a time when the leftist project appeared futile. In Anti-Oedipus, Guattari and Deleuze wrote about the left's need to acknowledge the ability for capitalism to liberate and oppress, rather than simply oppose it at every turn. They suggest embracing the anarchic tendencies of the free market in order to go still further in the movement of the market, to accelerate the process. Lyotard would also write Libidinal Economy, which praised capitalism for its naturalness and that even its most oppressive aspects were enjoyed by its victims. Land was inspired by this thinking and began to form his own philosophy. In 1992, he suggested that capitalism had never been fully unleashed and was always held back by politics, a practice he considered primitive, the last great sentimental indulgence of mankind. He began to form this idea of embracing the apocalypse through acceleration. Land saw capitalism as the motor of modernity, above and beyond any individual movement. This is strengthened by hyperstition, which is what he called the action of successful beliefs and ideas that, once emergent in the culture, give rise to their own reality through apocalyptic positive feedback loops. They are fictions that make themselves true. Capitalism is perhaps the greatest at this through, for example, forming consumer desire for things that aren't actually essential. Capitalism, he adds, reduces the importance of the self. This was an idea that Land was quite comfortable with. As he argued, the individual has now become less important than the system they lived within. The human experience is becoming increasingly irrelevant. This is evident in an early speech of Land's called "Let's Put the Rat Back in Rationality." He argues that we should view death not as a particular event in an individual's life, but rather through the view of the rats carrying the Black Death across Europe, as a world-encircling swarm with no coordinates or individuation. When asked if he is telling us to abandon the human experience, he simply responded that it's worth studying but shouldn't be prioritized.
All right, so
Today's video is sponsored by Endel. For a lot of my viewers, human potential, as well as the...
what do y'all think so far? Are you getting it? We're done with that. We're done with that. Are you guys getting any of it? Are you understanding any of the fact that there's a lot of philosophies at bay that has a lot to do with the way our system's functioning? And although there are truths in the fact that our system is not functioning correct, and there's work we can do, I believe we were still making some levels of drastic success. And the main thing that gets in the way is greed. Period. Greed is one of the biggest problems. Let's keep playing for a little bit. Just for a little while
The world
longer.
of tech, often associated with progress and innovation, harbors a darker side. Within the sleek offices and bustling startups, a controversial ideology has taken root: neo-reaction. This movement, often abbreviated as NRX, challenges the very foundations of modern democracy and liberalism. Neo-reactionaries advocate for a return to traditional hierarchies and authoritarian rule. They view democracy as inherently flawed, believing it leads to inefficiency and the erosion of social order. Neo-reactionaries are a diverse group, but they share a common thread of disillusionment with the current political and social landscape. They see themselves as a vanguard against the perceived failures of modern liberalism. Their ideas, often expressed in dense online forums and blogs, have begun to seep into mainstream tech culture, sparking debate and concern.
Too many of
This
y'all
essay
black
delves
people
into
out
the
there doing
origins,
stuff.
beliefs, and influence of this enigmatic movement. The neo-reactionary movement emerged in the early 21st century from the fringes of the internet. It found fertile ground in online spaces where individuals disillusioned with modern society could connect and share their grievances. One of the most influential figures in this nascent movement was Curtis Yarvin, a software engineer who blogged under the pseudonym Mencius Moldbug. Yarvin's writings, characterized by their complex prose and contrarian views, laid the intellectual groundwork for neo-reaction. Another key figure was Nick Land, a British philosopher who gained notoriety for his accelerationist ideas. Land argued that the only way to escape the perceived stagnation of capitalism was to accelerate technological progress, even if it led to societal upheaval. While not strictly a neo-reactionary himself, Land's writings resonated with the movement's anti-egalitarian and techno-futurist leanings. Together, Yarvin and Land, along with other early voices, shaped the core tenets of neo-reactionary thought. Neo-reactionaries believe that modern democracy is fundamentally flawed. They argue that it leads to inefficiency, corruption, and a decline in societal standards. Instead, they propose a return to traditional hierarchies and authoritarian governance as a means of restoring order and efficiency. Critics, however, argue that neo-reactionary ideas are not only undemocratic, but also dangerous. They warn that such ideologies could lead to increased inequality and the erosion of individual freedoms. The debate continues as both sides present their arguments with fervor. Within the tech industry, whispers of neo-reactionary influence are becoming more pronounced. Some tech leaders, disillusioned with the current political system, are quietly exploring these ideas. They see potential in the neo-reactionary vision of a more efficient, ordered society. However, this growing interest is met with concern. Many fear that embracing neo-reactionary ideas could undermine the very principles of innovation and progress that the tech industry prides itself on. It's a complex and contentious issue, one that continues to spark debate and reflection within the community. You know, some people argue that there's a conspiracy among elites to maintain their power and control. They believe that democracy is just a facade for this hidden rule. But isn't that a bit too simplistic? While there are certainly power dynamics at play, the idea of a grand conspiracy overlooks the complexities of political and social systems. Perhaps, but the concentration of power among a few, whether through democracy or any other system, is something that neo-reactionaries point out as a fundamental flaw. True, but we also need to consider the checks and balances that are designed to prevent such concentrations of power. It's not a perfect system, but it's one that evolves and adapts.
It's not perfect, but it evolves and it adapts. We know it's not perfect, but evolves and adapts. The biggest problem that I believe that we begin to know, the biggest confrontation or issue is that we do have corruption and levels of corruption because there's money involved. But then on the flip side of it, we have people like Jasmine Crockett, Black female, who's able to have a different perspective and really be able to talk to specifically white men that are twice her age or more, like they're not really used to. They're not really comfortable with the fact that, you know, how is it that we have allowed this Black woman to get into our elite educational systems by giving them opportunity through not overlooking them on purpose to go to our elite schools. And then the elite schools talk about equality. They talk about how we should love each other. They talk about how we should rate the morals and ethics that you would have been taught in a sociology or psychology class. And things like Martin Luther King. And these things of history has brought us to where we are and allowed us to have what I would say is opportunities on purpose, with purpose. So where are we now? We're at a crossroads. Okay. And that crossroads has a lot to do with the old systems still doing everything they can, everything possible. When I say they're throwing the entire playbook, they're throwing the entire playbook. The entire playbook. Miss Marie said it's playing chess with the world. You're exactly right. Chess is a game of strategy. And we didn't get here essentially with with the decision makers at hand, on a whim. It wasn't just a idea. This is serious in the sense that things are shifting and have shifted. And we cannot disregard the fact that technology has constantly, beautifully helped us. And the thing is the thing about technology is it could be unfair or it could be fair. Let's say that. It could be unfair because of the fact that, wait, everybody have access to this? We don't need everybody to have access to this. We don't need to have everybody access to information and being able to, connect to diversity and inclusion and understanding life more beyond what we present before them. We don't need that. We need people to be robots. Right? I like that guy of the sage. The thing about what we understand, one of the things we understand when we use that metaphor at chess is like, it's not straightforward. And you're thinking about your moves very strategically thinking about your moves. And how do those moves play out to get you what you want? Right? How does it play out to get you what you want? More than anything, what I want you guys to know is we are entering and need to enter, and I want you to move forward with helping assist us enter into the evolutionary, expanded consciousness of all humankind. We are moving forward, and now more than ever, it's us, it's people, it's the evolution of who we are, and we must expand beyond belief. When we have to sit back and have dialogue and conversations with individuals about the fair treatment of others that has a historical connection to the truth, the facts of the matter. It is obvious that we need to not understand just authority, but it's obvious that we need to respect other people as other people hopefully respect us. It's not about authority. It's just about pure respect. Authority or authoritarian is an ideology that says, I am over you, I am possibly better than you, I am superior. And the thing is that's very militaristic. That's very old school, as they say. And I'm not saying that the 4-year-old needs to buck up to the 40-year-old, 50-year-old, 60-year-old. But what happens when that 4-year-old is being touched in the wrong places by the authority? Tell me about that. Tell me about that. What happens when the authority takes advantage of its power? We have more that we're dealing with that evolution than we have dealing with the fact that people don't want to obey authority. Can that be an issue? Absolutely. People respecting? Absolutely. We do have a evolution of who we are, and seemingly people are questioning or constantly questioning a person's role or position, not even just authority. I have a 14-year-old daughter, and all I want is respect, in the sense that, you know, there's certain ways you talk to people, and if you talk to people certain ways back, you might get an energy that you don't want. And I think respecting an individual as a person and their lived experience has a lot to do with not just authority, but has to do with the fact that you reference that person's existence. So it's more of, how do you feel about yourself? So, moving on. We're moving on. I'm going to get ready to wrap this up. All of this stuff is at play. And I don't want you to succumb to fear. I don't want you to succumb to fear. I do say that we need to learn how to expand, how to shift, and it has to involve things beyond ancient text. The ancient texts are wonderful, great references, but we have to combine this with the biology of belief. We have to combine this with understanding that we need to get sleep. We need to make health our priority. We need to make knowledge and understanding and finding a space in which we are to live and be is important. Meditation, connecting to our higher self, right? Realizing that the evolution of who we are is dependent upon us being able to connect to our higher self, or some people will say to God, which will get into deities and all that. And my thing is like being able to connect to the knowingness, right? And the conscious evolution. Consciousness is not spirituality. Consciousness is not religion. Consciousness is not anything you think that it is. Because pure consciousness is all of it. It's all of it. I would relate consciousness more closer to God than I would relate consciousness to spirituality and religion. Although it plays a role. But it is. It just is. There is no buts. There's nothing else but that. It just is. And it's what we have used to get to where we are. We've used open, connected consciousness to get to where we are. And I think one of the biggest fears that we have, or that the system has, is the fact that if every person gets some knowledge and some understanding and learns that we are evolving and how we're evolving and how we can continue to evolve and how we continue to do better, how we can learn to live and we can learn to die and we can enjoy life, I'm here to tell you. I'm here to tell you. Here to tell you that we are the people. We are the people, specifically us, because a lot of the religious zealots, as they would say, a lot of the religious people are not going to evolve. They're going to keep on doing what they're doing, and then they're going to be some that open up. But it's just evolution is not part of the vocabulary, and so I'm going to take an adventure. I want to give another person that I've listened to over the years. I want to give Dr. Bruce Lipton a little bit of time to connect in about conscious evolution. And this is old, although now we're entering into the era.
As a biological scientist, I'm frequently asked about the concept of spontaneous evolution, which is something very near and dear to my heart. And the significance of what does it mean to me is this, is that we've all been programmed with a belief that evolution occurs over millions and millions of years with imperceptible changes occurring that ultimately lead to great evolutionary advances. This belief turns out not to be necessarily correct. As a matter of fact, there are two fundamental scientists, Stephen Jay Gould and Niles Eldredge, which realized that when they went over the evolutionary history, there were long periods where there was stasis, where things were just in equilibrium and balance, and then there were these upheavals. And then after an upheaval, it would shake everything all up, and then it would start all over again. So they called it punctuated equilibrium. So the concept of this long, continuous process is now recognized to be abbreviated with these punctuation marks, where something dramatic happens, such as a comet or asteroid hitting the planet and upending the entire ecosystem, and then shaking it all up and starting all over again. So we need to really look at the concept of length of time. And when we talk about billions of years of evolution, what would happen if an evolution, process occurred within 10 or 15 or 20 year period? Well, that would be, in the time of evolution, virtually spontaneous and instantaneous. We are now on the threshold of such a necessary change because science has found that we're facing our own extinction. We're facing the sixth mass extinction of life. And what's profoundly significant about this, it's really not things like comets or asteroids that are the problem, it's human behavior. And the relevance about that is human behavior can change overnight. The falling of the Berlin Wall was an overnight event, things like that. So spontaneous evolution to me says, don't look and say, oh my God, in hundreds and thousands of years from now, changes will occur. Recognize that changes can occur tomorrow, they can occur the next day, and that these changes in our world, because of our global interconnection, really reflect that evolution could be in hours in our planet. And this is really wonderful because it gives us great hope that we can make vast changes and survive through the crises we have created.
So it is on us. It is on us in this hour and time that we understand transcendence and we begin to put all of the ideas of consciousness, and as we so all y'all people that's out there and you going through your deconstructing journey, I'm here to tell you, hurry the hell up. hurry up. It's time. It's no time for games. It's no time for playing when it comes to the fact that we need you. We need you in vibration. We need you understanding how to elevate the vibration. And we need you to understand how to manifest, how to alchemize. We need some true, bona fide, old school, ancient mystics. That's what we need. Is we have to have those. We have to have you. And I thought I had another one, just a brief one. But essentially, with Barbara Marx Hubbard, I'm ending. It's late. Barbara Marx Hubbard. I don't know if you guys got a chance to watch the video I showed last week, some of it. But we're going to listen to her a little bit more. And I have so much more to put in the Institute. Like, I have so much more. And I'm not talking about soft stuff. I'm talking about stuff that I have, we haven't even really started the race with Dr. Conscious levels of consciousness, right? How to really understand and pull ourselves into higher levels of consciousness, right? It's important.
We all know we're facing something new together. That one phase of evolution is coming to an end while another one is being born. But it's very hard to actually grasp what's being born through us because the new is always almost invisible. And in my new course, The Sacred Journey of the Conscious Evolutionary, I'm going to trace the whole trajectory of what's being born from the inside of our own experience outward to the world. And it's going to be a process of 4 great parts. The first one will be called discovery. And what we're doing in discovery is we're going within to feel the impulse of evolution within ourselves as it moves through us, as it has for the billions of years of evolution, until it arises in us as our own unique motivation to be who we truly are.
Oh, did you hear that? This lady is transition. We got to first arise and come into our authentic divine self. We got to know who we are.
And there's going to be a breakthrough part of this course is the evolution of the evolutionary circle. So we'll start with evolutionary circles based on discovery and shared experience of that inner journey. And then we're going to move from there into emergence.
Emergence.
The shift from ego to essence that I'll be teaching also with my sister Patricia Ellsberg. So we'll take the discovery process of the new story of creation and anchor it in the shift within ourselves, from our separated selves to our essential self.
Separated.
And the emergence circles access the experience of your own divine essence as part of the story of creation. And there's some very skilled facilitators.
All right, she's selling me. But at first I thought that was something else. But the thing is ultimately I know that you're getting it. Awakening the power within you, being able to connect to who you are and your highest self, right, is essential. Whatever's on your heart, whatever's in you, like, we need love. Boy, do we need love. That is one of our big things, is understanding and getting love in our life. man, more than ever. Before I go, let's see if I can do this. I don't know if I can, but I want you guys to see. I'm gonna give you just a short glimpse. I can't give you all of this, but I have to whet your appetite for when this releases. I will have an official release date by next week. I know it's gonna most likely. I'm gonna say June. It could be May, June release date. And that is music, conscious, affirmation music, conscious music that allows us to be able to connect, right? Okay, I guess you don't want to. Hold up, y'all. Hold up. This is going to be worth the wait. It's going to be worth the wait. I hope you guys really have enjoyed this evening. Because now that we got where we are and we kind of getting like some of these things, and yeah, I'm sorry that it's ugly. It feels ugly. It feels like something is taking over, and well, I'm here to tell you it is. And I'm here to tell you that our democracy is not going to ever be the same. You heard it from me. It's not going to ever be the same. It's over. Okay. What is next? I can't tell you, but I can tell you this. The ancestors went through it, and it was different than this, but they've gone through some things. And so we can go through some things too, but we have to learn how to be united. We're sitting back, focused on and worrying about the end of the world, the end of life. They got us so wrapped up, and all the people, I'm here to tell you, all the people that are contemplating and doing what we were witnessing, what I've shared with you, they're not religious people. They're brilliant. They know how to control religious people through controlling them. All right. You know that this channel is one of the big things is this is dedicated to Bishop. This is not going to be available on Patreon. And you might be able to listen to it if you go all through this film. But one thing that Bishop used to say was, keep on keeping on because of Mother Sherman. Let's just meditate on this and just understand the presence and be here.
Lost and confused, feels like life is just abuse. Told what to believe,
Take deep
but
breaths.
still don't know
Release
how
it.
to receive. Looking for light and sound, but fear keeps pulling me down. I've tried and tried, but no clue. What's the right thing to do? Even in the dark, there's a spark in me, a whisper saying, keep walking free.
Listen.
It's not time to give up. It's not time to get stuck. Keep moving, we'll be free. There's more to life than what we see. This ain't just another song, it's how we carry on. The pain won't last too long, no, it won't be long. Like the old-time spirituals, sacred and lyrical, lift every voice still true. It brought us through, it'll bring us to even in the dark. There's a spark in me, a whisper saying, keep walking free. It's not time to give up. It's not time to get stuck. Keep moving, we'll be free. There's more to life than what we see. I know it's hard, but we hold on. We walk through fire, still we stay strong. The world may shake, but we stand tall. We rise, we rise, we rise through it all. It's not time to give up. It's not time to get stuck. Keep moving, we'll be free. The gift of life is to the ball.
I've been to the mountaintop.
Oh, this is a different song.
I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. I'm not concerned about that now. I'm going to do God's will.
Sorry.
And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over. And I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
That was a different one. I thought it was the other one. But that still relates to this message. It's not time to give up. It's not time to get stuff. Keep moving. We'll be free. It's time for us to do what we are to do here. I wanted to give you a sample of this, and I guess hopefully I can make it happen. Hold 1 second. Let's see. Bear with me. All right, y'all gonna hear a sample of this. All right, it just moves me so much. It does. Here we go. All right, let me get this loaded, and then for all y'all that hung in there with me, y'all get to hear this other. This is all gonna be compiled. This is all compiled within an album that I plan to release. This is beautiful. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna post this in the Patreon. The other ones should be there early, but this is gonna be part of the major release, and you'll get to hear it tonight. And you can hear it on the replay. I don't know why it's not loud. still needs mastered. Check this out.
There comes a day, there comes a time, you feel the way, you see the sign, you've prayed, you've cried,
Hug yourself like Bishop used to tell us.
you stood so long, but something in your soul says, keep holding on. They don't know what you've been through. Still you rise, still you choose. After you've done all you can do, just hold on, just hold on, and just stay strong, when the night feels too long, keep on keeping on, keep on keeping on, oh, keep on. If you told me the plan, I wouldn't understand, but still I trust the movement of your hand. When the burden's heavy, when I'm feeling alone, you whisper, child, you're not on your own. And after you've done all you can do, just hold on, just hold on, and just stay strong, when the night feels too long, keep on keeping on, keep on keeping on, oh, keep it, hold on.
She heard I was saved. I got saved when I was about 4 or 5 years old. And they heard about this little Pearson boy that was saved. And she'd always come to me and said, son, you yet holding on? And I said, yes, ma'am, I'm yet holding on. She said, well, keep on keeping on there, baby. And then when I get a little older, she gave me a dime. You yet holding on? And yes, Mother Sherman, I'm yet holding on. You keep on keeping on, baby. She gave me a quarter. By the time I got ready to go to college, she was up to $1.
Keep on keeping on.
I remember I came back from my freshman college year here at Oral Roberts University. And I saw Mother Sherman. She said, baby, you yet holding on? I said, yes, ma'am, I'm holding on. She said, well, you keep on keeping on there, baby. She never did get above $1. She stayed at that $1.
Just hold on, hold on.
Just hold on.
Just stay strong.
Stay strong.
Stay strong. When the night feels
When the night feels too long.
hold on, man. Keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping
Keep
on.
on keeping on. Keep on. Hold on. Just stay strong.
All in.
Stay strong. Stay strong. When the
Vibration
night
and
feels too
frequency.
long, keep on keeping on. Keep on keeping on. Keep on. Keep on keeping on. Keep on keeping on.
Look at somebody and say, you yet holding on? If their answer was yes, tell them, keep on keeping on, baby. Oh. Come on, tell somebody, I'm not about to give up. I'm not about to give up. I'm not about to give up. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm feeling mighty good. We are thrilled to be here tonight. I feel some Holy Ghost up in here.
That is an exclusive. I have more. Deidre, I have more. I just want people to really have something that they can really live by, something that you can listen to that just lifts your spirits, something that really just causes you to reflect, understand, and help us through this time. Thank you guys so much. I love you. Appreciate you. To all the folks that understand that this Saturday, 9:30 Eastern, 10:30 Eastern, 9:30 Central. So that's 8:30 in the West Coast. But we usually go for a couple hours, or maybe a little, sometime 3, but we'll go for a couple hours, and being able to collab and being able to talk and being able to get down to the heart of these conversations. Yes. Thank you, Miss Gwen. We'll see you Saturday. Thank you, Miss Imogene. Yes, I know that when I was creating it, I was like, ugh. There's different parts of those lyrics that Bishop said. And I kind of incorporated those lyrics of some of the sayings he would have. I got a few songs, at least 3 songs that are dedicated to him, with his, things that are related to him that I believe that we really can use. Okay. Yes, you yet holding on? Yes. We love you guys. Thank you, brother Don. Don is just joined we need you in the expanded consciousness community that's going to develop into something that we all can really enjoy and really use in this hour. Oh, Amy, how beautiful. How beautiful. It's good to see you. And we have some, yes. Awesome. It's good to see you. See some different faces commenting. A lot of times people just don't comment, but they hear. Anyways, I appreciate you. If anyone so desires, you're not a part of the community, we have the Cash App that's there to help this carry on and go on. I'm just carrying on, right? Just as Bishop said. All right, y'all. We love you. We appreciate you. And I will end just this ending. And we have one other potential. I like to sample these on you guys, but I got a lot of potential things that I'm looking to put on this album. The whole point of this album, the affirmation music, I want you to know this. The entire point of this is not just, hey, I got a good song. The entire point of this music is just to give us something to listen to. Okay. And give us something. All of it is upbeat. All of it is moving music. All of it is stuff that really is designed to help us out. This could be on it, but I'll end it with this after the closing credits. And we'll see you guys next week.
this be a melody, softly singing to you and me. Pure love floating on the breeze, a gentle song to set us free. Imagine if we
Hold up. Stay with me. That wasn't it. I'll have to get it to you next week. Love y'all.